Welcome one and all to Disney Sorcerer's Arena. In this video, I'm going to be going over some of the info on the brand new Ursula raid we've all been waiting for that just dropped in the 14.0 update. But before I get started, if you enjoy this video or want to see more videos like it, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. Now let's get into it. The Ursula raid, otherwise known as the Forbidden Depths, is finally upon us. Although we can't actually play the raid yet until it opens in a few days, there's still a lot of information we can glean from the raid info already in-game. I'm going to be going over the raid structure, how raids are launched, the enemies you'll be facing and their abilities, and the raid rewards you'll be receiving. Starting off with structure. The raid is separated into 6 difficulties, or tiers. Each tier requires characters be at a minimum star level, with the last 2 tiers having a minimum gear requirement as well. It's also worth noting that daily attempts, units refresh, and escape chance changes between tiers. What are these? Well, daily attempts are the number of times you can attack the raid each day. Units refresh is how often you can reuse characters you've already attacked with. For instance, say you've already attacked with your Kingdom or Big Hero 6 team. You won't be able to attack with them again until your units refresh. And lastly is escape chance, or escape chance. This is a new ability that all of your characters will have only for the raid. It can be used to have that character attempt to immediately leave the battle. If it's successful, then that character can be used again without having to wait for your units to refresh. Each tier needs a different number of raid tickets to launch. Raid tickets are accumulated by all members of the club whenever they use energy. 1 energy spent equals 1 ticket earned, and both campaign and grand energy count towards tickets. Each club member can contribute a max of 1,000 tickets per day. So let's do a little math on energy here to see how we can get to that max ticket limit. Campaign energy generates at a rate of 1 every 6 minutes, for a total of 240 energy per day. Grand energy is at a rate of 1 every 12 minutes, or 120 energy per day. Watching ads will get you 50 campaign and 25 grand energy. The double generation ads will net you an extra 15 campaign energy, and finally, the free energy drops give you 120 campaign and 60 grand energy a day, for a final total of 630 tickets. So with 370 energy short, the cheapest path to 1,000 tickets is to buy the 3 50 gem campaign energy refreshes. Not the most ideal, but doable depending on your gem income. Irregardless if you can afford that, you'll still want to spend as much energy a day as you can, as the more tickets your club gets, the more often they can run the raid, and the more rewards you'll receive. Now let's take a look at the enemies you'll be facing off against. There's a lot about them that we don't know about, like their stats, speed, health, and whatnot, but we do know all the ways in which they're going to try and wreck you. I'm not going to read every ability, but I will give an overview of each opponent and what to expect. The raid is separated into 4 phases, with different enemies in each phase. There is one ability that all the enemies share, and that is Sorcerer's Strength. This passive lets the enemy take additional actions and gain speed meter, as well as making them immune to stun, silence, intimidate, polymorph, and sleep, so a lot of crowd control that simply will not work on them. Starting with phase 1, you'll be going up against the mighty hunter Glut the Shark. Glut is all about debuffs, or harmful effects. He puts and extends continuous damage on your team, he inflicts fear and intimidate, and he plays off how many harmful effects your team has. The more harmful effects, the more speed he'll gain, the more continuous damage he dishes out, and the more critical strikes he'll land. So when facing off against Glut, you'll really want to have someone who can purge these harmful effects. Otherwise, he's going to eat through your team pretty fast. He also purges helpful effects and shields on your team, so characters that rely on those are probably not a good idea either. He has one other ability that is very similar to one that all of the enemies in all the phases have, and that is From the Depths. This is an annihilate that instantly defeats one of your characters, which then can't be revived. Glut's version of this ability gives him a chance to also inflict fear on anyone else that's left. Moving into phase 2 are Ursula's electrifying minions, Flotsam and Jetsam. These two have only one ability that is unique to each, otherwise all of their abilities are exactly the same. Their main theme is inflicting poison, which is similar to continuous damage except it deals damage equal to a percentage of your max health, and it can't be cleansed. It can, however, be reduced in duration when the affected character receives healing. They can also inflict blind and still speed meter when using Spiteful Strike if the target does not have taunt. And of course, they both have the insta-kill ability as well. As for their abilities that aren't the same, Flotsam can charm, targeting your highest offense character if able, and Jetsam will cleanse helpful effects as well as inflict intimidate. These abilities can also cause additional effects if both of them are alive at the same time. With all of this poison going around, this is where it seems you'll really want to have your healers or healing spells to help reduce poison's duration. Also, with stealing speed from non-taunting characters and charming high offense characters, having someone with a taunt seems like a good idea as well. In Phase 3, you enter inside the lair where Ursula finally enters the fray. Ursula can inflict poison as well as become empowered after she's taken enough damage. After becoming empowered, she will blind, double tap on her basic, inflict more poison, and do bonus damage to anyone with a shield. Her insta-kill has a chance to purge your helpful effects, and her passive will inflict silence on a random character on her turn if she isn't suffering from a harmful effect. So you'll want to have characters that can dish out harmful effects, though not any of the crowd control effects that all of the raid bosses are immune to, of course. And you'll also want to avoid characters with shields, as she'll do more damage to them. And last, but certainly not least, is Phase 4, the treacherous Maelstrom. Here, Ursula comes back for revenge in her giant sea witch form. Much like Yokai, Ursula has summons, this time in the form of her tentacles, which can purge helpful effects, inflict helpful immunity, and inflict poison. She also gains bonus tenacity for each tentacle, but will receive vulnerable every time you defeat one. And if you're able to defeat all of the tentacles, she'll become staggered for a time, allowing you to get some extra damage in, until she comes out of stagger and summons back her tentacles to start it all over again. Her insta-kill can inflict fear on adjacent opponents. So characters with AoE attacks could be good here, as you'll want to get her tentacles down as soon as possible. Go-Go is also a good option as she does extra damage to summons. Tentacles will also take reduced damage from anyone with harmful effects, so characters that cleanse can also be of great help. So now that you've made it through the gauntlet and risen from the depths, what is your prize? Depending on the tier you've completed, you'll receive a certain amount of gems, gold, gear pieces, and the brand new raid coins. Raid coins can be spent in the new raid exchange on a variety of characters and, very importantly, the new T7 gear pieces to get your characters to that next level. In addition, only the heroic tier will give you Ursula tokens at 5 per raid, and you'll need 145 tokens in total to unlock her and add her to your team. All members of the club receive the same rewards, no matter how much damage they did, so long as they qualified for the raid and attacked. One last thing we have are raid milestones. This seems to be similar to the club milestones in the Stitch and Triton towers, where your club's participation contribute extra rewards for all, including some Ursula tokens. All in all, this is very exciting. These raid bosses have some crazy sounding ability sets, and I'm super hyped to get into this raid and work out together with my club what teams are best for each phase. I hope this video has been some help for you. Again, if you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. You can check out some of the other DSA related videos on my channel. And if you made it this far, thanks for watching.